Whatever you tell me to, drill sergeant.
That's a brilliant idea. You must be a damn genius. You must have an IQ of 160. Now get the first take.
I run this show. I don't care what drill sergeant is. You heard me? First takes in the house. It's a new day, baby.
You wanted it, didn't you? I know you did, because I was there when you asked. It's coming, y'all.
Help is on the way, I promise you. I beat you down every time. Somehow you keep inviting me back.
It isn't a competition. I have no competition.
You coming at me, I'm coming right back at you.
That's not a strong argument.
You love stirring the pot. If a dog had a square butt, it would poop blocks.
What?
I'm gonna make you look foolish.
No, you didn't say that on national television.
I did.
Tell the truth.
The blasphemy coming out of your mouth right now.
Welcome to the beatdown. First takes in the house. Let's go.
Today's the day, folks. Good day. Welcome into First Take. We are laboring. Thank you for being with us. And look who is here. Three-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay in the building.
Let me get my mask.
It is our honor to have you, Shannon.
Appreciate the love.
No doubt.
Appreciate the love. Thanks for welcoming me aboard. Molly, thank you for welcoming me aboard also.
I love it.
Coming in and saying hello.
Dressed for the occasion.
I did.
Great. Ready to
I
go?
almost didn't wear a tie today, but I figured Stephen A was going to wear a tie, so I said, you know what? I can't just let him out. Show me off on it.
Well, actually, he already starting off on the wrong foot because, ladies and gentlemen, he came in here, and when he saw how fly I was looking this morning, he said, damn. I got to wear this tie.
I did. He looked good. He looked good, doesn't he, Molly? He looked good. I gave him his credit. All right.
He knew what today was. But this is my only concern.
Yes.
Okay, so we only have an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just want you to mentally prepare yourselves. Today's like a warm-up.
An hour?
Because I'm a little worried about dealing with the two of you.
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be a lot for me.
It is.
But I'm up for the challenge.
is, okay.
All right?
I'm going to help him out today, so I'm a giver.
Oh, you're going to help him out?
I'm going to help him
He
out
doesn't
today.
need the
The
head
2
start.
hours is tomorrow. It's only an hour today. The
Yeah.
2 hours is tomorrow. So we're going to get a little bit of Shannon Sharp today,
right.
but you better be
I
ready.
don't need much time to go ahead and do the damage I'm going to do today.
Let's go. Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Let's do
Thanks
it.
for hanging with us. Here
Absolutely.
we
Thank
go.
you.
3 days to kick off between the Chiefs and the Lions. Let's go. When we think Kansas City, we think greatness, right? Burgeoning dynasty. But we also think offense. Well, Chiefs players are starting to get concerned about the defense and the Chris Jones holdout that is getting down to the wire. Here's Travis Kelce pleading for his return.
Chris, can you please come back? You're really scaring me, man. I don't get it. You must know something that I don't know, because I just don't get it. I really want to get another Super Bowl ring with you, brother. This is me bargaining you to just come back and play football for the Chiefs. Please, we need you.
Well, I just
We need
hope
you bad. And I don't know what the situation is. Obviously,
Well, the
I'd stay
situation
out of
is you guys
all-
aren't paying him enough, and I think you should hold off as long as possible.
All right. 15 and a half sacks last season, most among defensive tackles.
Yes.
Shannon, is KC on upset alert if they don't get Jones back?
Yes, because if you think about it, the Lions were picked to win that division, Skip.
You know what?
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's all right.
okay.
It's all right.
Stephen
It's
A.
all right. Yeah.
They were picked to win the division since the first time since it realigned in 2002.
Cool.
So we're talking over 2 decades. They're picked to win that division. We know what they represent offensively. With Jared Goff and the cast of receivers that he has, they took a running back in the first round. They traded for another, signed another one in free agency.
Cool.
So they're going to be offensively, they're explosive. Chris Jones is one of the 5 best defensive players in all of football. He was the #1 graded defensive interior lineman all of last year. Finished 3rd in the Defensive Player of the Year ratings. He's the one guy that you don't have to do anything special for, and he can go get your quarterback. Now, the big defensive acquisition that they made, he suspended the first 6 games. So now, your 2 best defensive players, the 2 guys you're counting on to go get the quarterback on the ground, won't be there. And we know that's what got them in trouble over the previous years when they didn't get to the Super Bowl, was the ability to get to the opposing team's quarterback. So now, without Chris Jones, you got to pay him. If you want any hope, any chance of repeating, Chris Jones has to be on this roster at some point in time. And you can't let it get 8 games into the season, because he's going to show up because he wants to get credited for a season.
Right.
So he has to play at least 8
Right.
games. So he's going to come eventually, but you don't want to give these games away. The AFC is a lot better. Cincinnati is going to be better because they got an offensive line now that I believe can protect Joe Burrow. Hey, Buffalo says, you know what? Last year was a little slip up for a hiccup for us.
Right.
We'll be better.
Right.
I like what the Chargers have done in L.A. with Herbert and those receivers, so they can ill afford to let this thing drag out.
Right.
You're going to have to pay him.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes took that bargain contract just so you can have guys like Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and you can pay those guys. Pay Chris Jones his money. He said, I don't know what he's asking for, but you're going to have to pay him somewhere in excess of probably $25, $28 million. I don't know if the Aaron Donald contract is possible. That's an outlier of a contract. But he's going to have to get close to Aaron Donald because he's that good of a player. 15.5 sacks, and you take that out of the lineup, like I said, Stephen A., he's the only guy on that defensive line. You don't have to do anything special for him. You don't have to stunt. You don't have to twist. You don't have to call all diagram pressure. Chris, go get the quarterback, and he can go do it.
Well, I would know something about being a quarterback because I set folks up, you know what I'm saying? That's number one. So let's get that out of the way first. Number two, you know, I'm gonna take it light on you today.
Okay,
because you know you've been doing the pot Club Shay Shay, y'all. Check that out, Club Shay Shay. I've been on there.
Oh, you do it.
It was
great.
posted Thursday. You can go to Club Shay Shay now. Check it out because I'm on all week long. All right, and you coming on my show, on my podcast next week. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the deal, y'all. Here's the deal, Shannon. Here's what you're missing because you're a little rusty.
Okay.
The question was upset alert, as in this week. We ain't talking about the season.
Yeah.
We talking about this week.
Yes.
Upset alert. You're wrong, my brother, and here's why. First of all, we're talking about the dude in Patrick Mahomes is 5-0 in season openers with 18 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yes.
That's number one. Ain't no upset alert with the Detroit Lions
Yes.
because of Chris Jones' absence. I know he had 15.5 sacks last year. I know he didn't miss a game. I know all of this. I know what a study was being ranked the top 10 NFL player in the modern right now this season. I get
Top
all of that,
100,
right?
yep.
But here's what I'm looking at right now. First of all, the Chiefs have won 8 straight consecutive season openers, the longest active streak in the NFL. Let's get that out of the way. There's still Andy Reid there, even though there's no Eric Bieniemy. So I got that part, okay? Obviously, their success is predicated on their offense. They've got to lose a couple of tackles. They got to be careful about that because you want to protect Patrick Mahomes. We saw when he didn't have an offensive line in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. What happened to him? That's something they rectified to some degree last year. They lost a couple of guys this offseason. We'll see what happens. But without Chris Jones, the Kansas City Chiefs in his career have been 10-5. Chris Jones has, and don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from his greatness. I know the brother is great. He had 2 postseason sacks.
Yeah.
Both of them was an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Prior to that, he didn't have any. So let's just call it what it is. I'm saying to you, the season opener, going up against the Detroit Lions, you're the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. I'm sorry. I understand they need Chris Jones because the bottom line is their defense might be suspect and Detroit can put up some points. But forgive me if I got Kelce and I got Patrick Mahomes, okay, and I still got Andy Reid there calling plays. I'm not overly concerned about an upset alert.
But let me tell you why.
Sure.
Because Detroit can score points. At some point in time, you got to stop somebody. If you go back and look at the Super Bowl, Kansas City came back and won that game because they basically scored on every possession. And what did the Chiefs have to do? They had to get one stop. They had to make them settle for a field goal. They had to make them punt the ball one time. Now, we've seen Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes get into a shootout on a Monday night. Goff was with the Rams, obviously Mahomes was with the Chiefs, and it went up and down the field, and it came down to a turnover. The question is, can you generate enough pressure? If you let Goff just sit back there and pat the ball, and those receivers, they're going to be much better because I like what Dan Campbell has done. Now, I've never seen anybody get as much credit for not making the playoffs as Dan Campbell did.
That's true. That is true.
But they believe in him. If you look at the way those guys play, if you listen to what they talk and how they talk about Dan Campbell, they believe in him. They love playing for him. You've got to have a guy because at the end of the day, you got to score points, but you've got to get guys that can go stop you from scoring.
Fairness, question. Question, not a debate. Question. You just talked about you've never seen a guy get as much credit as Dan Campbell.
Yes.
Detroit has been big up this offseason because of how they ended the season.
Yes.
So, you know, there's times that we're going to debate, and there's times I'm going to defer to a 3-time Super Bowl champion and a Hall of Fame tight end, arguably the best ever. Do you find yourself concerned that the hype might be a little bit too much for Detroit, particularly when you open in the season on a Thursday night on the road at Arrowhead Stadium against the reigning defending Super Bowl champion led by the best quarterback in football.
With the banner dropping.
How about that?
It's going to be electric. The thing that I caution against, and I always tell teams this, you don't get to pick up where you left off last year. I understand you won 4 or 5 games to close out your season, but this is an entirely different season.
Yeah, but would they get that? That's what I'm asking.
Can I add one point here, though?
Yes,
Detroit won the draft.
Yes.
I mean, no one had a better draft than Detroit.
Yes.
So